Good morning to you. It's 8 o'clock on the start of a Thursday. Glad you're with us to start the day. One day closer to Friday, and dear Lord, do we need it.
Ed and I are both editing stories right now, so we are like face deep in our computers. And thank God John was like, "Hey, you guys,
Right.
you got stuff to do." We're
Well,
like,
do you know what it is? We are really using every minute that we have because we've got so much stuff going on that it's like you've got to really use your time wisely here. So,
and then we get so into what we're doing because we both get really into editing. So we're just like sitting there, like clicking stuff around.
you got to love it.
Thanks, John, for letting us know.
How's your day going? We'd love to hear from you.
I know we've been a little bit busy.
A couple of things we want to talk about this morning. When it comes to grocery shopping, and a lot of people are trying to save as much money as they can, how are you doing it? Are you going about buying store brand goods as opposed to name brand items? And a lot of people are doing just that, trying to save a buck here and there.
How brand loyal are you? Does it depend on the product? Let's talk about that and what brands you will always stick with. Like some people will say, I will never buy generic blank. But what can you substitute generic with to save a little cash?
It's the old Crest versus Colgate debate. Do you remember Rob Heverling, our news director? He would always, talk about branding and brands that people are loyal to. And he goes, we want to be the Colgate that people go to, or we want to be the Crest that people go to. People are constantly looking for something that they feel comfortable with, that they've become used to.
Well, and chances are if you have a brand that you're loyal to, there's a reason.
Lauren says, I'm very brand loyal with some products. Okay, Lauren, spill a tea. What are you brand loyal to?
My example this morning, I personally am when it comes to laundry detergent.
Yeah, me too.
Very particular.
I wasn't for a while. And then I realized, I don't think I'm getting as good a wash as I think I could.
Right. So there's different reasons. That's a great reason. Mine was, I tried another kind. I tried one of the cheaper kinds and I got a rash. Like I had a bad reaction to it. So I was like, okay, this isn't going to work.
I like the way Tide smells. And it keeps your clothes, in my opinion, at least a little bit smelling good a little bit longer compared to some of the others.
I love it when you're doing laundry in your house and you come in and you're like, oh, laundry.
Marguerite says she's loyal to Charmin, Tide, and Dawn. Mary Beth, your mom, open to store brands, but I'll only buy Tide detergent. Barb says love Arm & Hammer toothpaste with peroxide. Makes your mouth feel all foamy, right? Jason says I buy both. My mom says I'll only buy Hellmann's mayo.
Mayo is something else that we said. My friend's husband is like so loyal to his one mayonnaise brand. And I said, I think people are very particular about mayo.
Brittany says Aldi before Tops and Wegmans, picky on the cheese.
Picky on the cheese. Boy, that's a phrase I've never said.
What are you picky about when it comes to cheese? Like, are you picky of like Gouda versus cheddar, or are you picky about?
I like it all.
There is, steak sauce. I like to be A1. I'm right there with you. There is a brand in particular that I really do like when it comes to
what? Hello.
Not a brand, but a type of cheese that I really do like.
I feel like we lost you for a second.
Well, because I lost my train of thought. Cheese. The wine cheese, the red wine cheese. Have you ever had that?
Like a port wine cheese?
It's got like the purple rim around it. They sell it at Wegmans.
Okay.
It is so good.
I'll tell you what's good. Yancey's Fancy.
Yancey's Fancy is really good.
How about that garlic cheese that they have? Oh my God, I could eat a brick of it.
Or the cheese curds.
Oh my God, the cheese curds. They're so good.
Marguerite says Aldi Triscuits store brand is very similar. Lauren, I asked what brand she's loyal to. Of course, Rosina Meatballs.
Oh, thank goodness, everyone.
Toothpaste, condiments, medicine. Laddie says she's loyal to Sensodyne toothpaste. Mary says, I do love only Wegmans Pepper Jack.
Okay, so here's my question. Where are we going generic? Because we know we can save a little bit of cash. I buy the store brand paper towels. I buy store brand or the generic brand toilet paper, but I don't buy the cheapest kind. I buy the Step Up. We talked about this the other day. We don't need to go down that road again. I think paper towels, though, but you can't get the cheapest ones either because like Ed and I were saying, sometimes you get a paper towel that's literally like a piece of paper and all it does is just smear stuff everywhere.
Like the paper towels we have here is what I said also earlier.
Honestly, they're horrible.
A Downy fabric softener. Yeah, I'm just like that too. It has to be Downy.
And somebody mentioned Dawn dish detergent. I have to say, my brother, let me put this out there. One of the least particular people I would say with products like this, he said the other day, I only buy Dawn dish soap because I feel like it works the best.
We used Palmolive growing up.
The green kind?
Well, or the yellow. really it's just a matter of like,
I
what
picture them as a green.
sometimes I'm like, what's cheaper? Is it Palmolive or is it Dawn?
And Wegmans has their own brand.
Right. And really I'm not loyal to dish soap in particular, or washing dishwasher detergent.
Interesting. Yeah, some people say they go with Dawn.
Only Dawn. Why only Dawn though? Like, what is it about Dawn that makes it better?
I think Marguerite talked about chips. I pulled it up. We were talking about soap. Sorry, Marguerite. I was trying to go for this one. Sam's Club toilet paper and paper towels. She says she buys. Sarah says she buys.
Hellman's mayo is the best for sure, is what Ramon says. Good morning to you, Ramon. Jeff Baker says, careful, Ed. They may reduce your wages to get better paper towels. Jeff, they can't reduce it anymore. It's already low.
Okay.
Your mom says, I use Dawn for grease on clothes in laundry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are we buying generic of? What do you buy generic of? You were mentioning canned food.
Canned food, yeah. Like
I don't think that there's a big difference with canned food.
No, because tomatoes are tomatoes, right? So we
That's what
buy
I
canned
think.
tomatoes that are Wegmans branded. We buy, what did I tell you yesterday that I wanted from Aldi?
Well, you were being rude. You
Why?
said generic brand, fill in the blank, basically.
Well, but I said they do have really good. It's the Clancy's Bar Mix that I really like.
I thought you were just saying that as like
Oh
a thing.
no, I was
Clancy's Bar Mix. Like you were
I was
just
totally serious.
He was giving me a hard time for going to Aldi, and I was like, because he was like, oh, he likes a certain brands. And then who found your fancy bread at Aldi?
I was very impressed. Good job, Katie.
I sent him a picture. I was like, you can sneer all you want. Here's your bread.
No, you know what we would do? We would go to Aldi. I like going to Aldi's for like if I'm hosting a party.
Oh God, yes.
It's so much easier to buy things on a budget at Aldi than it is comparatively.
If you're making a charcuterie, go there.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper. And I think they have a really good cheese selection.
Howard says good store brands to buy are in our dairy, veggies,
Mhm.
canned like that. Tomatoes that are same package with a different label. Yeah, totally there. Brittany says the Clancy chips are greasy, salty, and delicious. Oh, I was like, okay, where are we going with this?
Wegmans paper towels and toilet paper, crackers from Aldi, bread from Aldi.
Okay, Jeanette went to Target yesterday. I don't usually shop there, but I had to look. Just as much as Wegmans, Dashes better still have them for $1.99 later. I think she's talking about eggs.
Oh, eggs. So right, I didn't price check Dashes. They did have them last week for $1.99, I think, at Dashes. I'm not sure about this week. Excuse me. Yeah, Target yesterday, I had the price of eggs. Oh, and Mary stopped by Trader Joe's for me and then sent me the prices there. Actually, if you go to Trader Joe's, she said eggs were $1.99 there this week.
My mom, my sister rather, shops at Trader Joe's often. And what she tells me is that you can find a better deal on many things at Trader Joe's than you would at Wegmans. And she could buy, like, we went to build a charcuterie board and it cost us probably about $60 for everything.
At Trader Joe's?
Yeah. And you're buying like meats, cheeses, cheese, grapes, all
nuts,
that stuff. Yeah.
Jellies,
crackers.
I made a really good charcuterie board. When was that? Thanksgiving. I was really proud of it.
Patty says, yep, loves Trader Joe's. Bill, good morning. We used to buy name brands, but with inflation and the government left people on Social Security way behind, forced us to buy generic. Well, and that is true, right? I mean, like if you're on a fixed income, it's harder to buy name brand than it is generic, right? Like you have to pinch pennies where you can.
Here's a good one. Karen says, by the way, Price Chopper has eggs for $1.75.
Yeah, but we don't have Price Choppers here, do we?
She just said on the east side.
Is there a Price Chopper in Buffalo? I didn't know that.
Maybe she means Price Right. Do you mean Price Right? Karen joins us a lot, so.
Oh, there is one.
Price Chopper. All right, Price Chopper, $1.75.
It's Super Price Chopper. See, Price Chopper,
I never go to, I have not priced out because when I was doing the price tracking, I tried to pick places that had.
Okay, wait a second. I think this is different than what I'm thinking. So it's Super Price Choppers.
She says, yes, Price Chopper. Yep.
But there is Price Chopper.
See, the thing is, when I've been price tracking, I tried to pick, like, that's why I didn't do Trader Joe's because it's so hard for so many people to get to. I picked ones that had the most places. Tops, Wegs, Target, Walmart.
Okay, so now I'm down the rabbit hole here because there is an actual Price Chopper.
Well, yes, there is.
And there are none in
Don't
Buffalo.
Have them here. I think
but
they might
this
have them.
is super Price Choppers compared to Price Chopper. It's like going to Kinko's versus Nickos when you're driving down Clinton in South Buffalo or
And
the Old
Anita's
First Word.
saying save a lot too. Anita, that's another place that I didn't add to the price. One of these days I'll do a thing like that where I go to some other stores. I just don't think there's as many of them for all of our viewers.
Right.
Mhm.
Karen, yes, exactly. Okay, so now we're all on the same page
Yes,
here. Jeff Baker, Price Chopper in Alexandria Bay. Love Alexandria Bay. Yeah, so when I was in Oneonta, we used to have Price Choppers there. There's Price Choppers in Albany. No, I'm thinking like East Coast of New York.
You ever shop at a Kroger?
Yeah, of course, in Virginia.
Kroger's, yep. In
A Food
Ohio.
Lion. We used to call it Food Leon to make it sound fancy.
Food Leon. Oh my gosh.
Peter says quality, cost of products, and cost of transportation is all at play. So okay, that's a great point. Are you then going to only one supermarket, or are you hopping around?
Because that absolutely makes a difference.
Right.
Yes.
And you're then spending on gas, you're spending on your car's wear and tear.
Ooh, okay, let's see what Kelly had to say here. She went to Trader Joe's for the first time Sunday. She was so disappointed. Not for the prices, the amount of people you couldn't move. It was totally overwhelming. I had to wait outside for my husband.
Yeah, it does get packed in there, and it's a relatively small store as it is.
I try to be a weekday shopper. And with our schedules, we can kind of make that work.
Yeah.
Like you Monday shop a lot. I know you do.
I'm there like every day. Don't count me in. But yes, I do often go to the grocery store.
Are we not meal planning? Is it just like why are we at the grocery store all the time?
All the time, because sometimes we'll buy like a limited number of, say, oranges, or we'll buy a number.
Because you don't like them because they'll go bad.
Right. So what we'll do is then, because the gym is right near the supermarket, so I'll just go right back.
That's very true. You're over that way a lot.
Yeah.
Now I
also
that
get my prescriptions there.
It's also literally half a mile from my house. But I am not, as much as I like to save money, I don't like to go to the grocery store a lot.
Why?
It's a hassle.
Is
a total hassle. I prefer to plan out the meals, shop once, and be done for the week.
I get that. But then, so do you feel like you are not getting certain things then?
On occasion, I will feel like I run out of produce by like Thursday. And so then I do have to do a little produce run or a fruit run. And I don't like it when my bananas get too brown too.
So I'm like that also. So bananas are one of those things that I have to go back for to try and make sure. Because I really do like having certain things for the week.
Shonda, are we not meal planning? LOL, she's dead.
You know what the other thing is too that I'm often doing is going to Eat right now to
that's right.
get
you guys
some meal prep.
That.
Yeah, because we're going away in April. Summer is coming, and realistically, we're going to talk positive about our bodies, but this body ain't ready. You know what I mean? You look beautiful, so I know you don't know what I mean. So,
summer bodies are made in the winter. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
100%.
Ed and I both this morning were like, "Oh, we both have back injury." Like my neck. I did this spinning yesterday, and I did the muscle or the lifting with it, and my neck. I don't know.
So yeah, I think also these chairs don't really hurt. Don't really help. Rather.
Also, I'm getting closer to the 40 age than the 30 age. And I just feel like sometimes you do something and you're like, well, I guess I'll feel that for the next 2 weeks.
My knees have been hurting lying in bed. How does that happen?
How about like when you're like, this pillow isn't comfortable. All right, you're laying on a bed on a pillow and it's not comfortable.
Russell stole this from me, Lauren, just so that you know. Summer bodies are made in the winter, just so that we're all on the same page.
No, my mom likes to say this, put the bananas in the fridge. Mom, I don't like the way they come in the fridge. I don't like it when the skin turns brown.
You have an aversion to that stuff. It's so funny to me because
sometimes I drop my banana on the way into work. It's happened more than once. That is the worst because you're like, great, now I'm going to eat 1/4 of this. It's going to be just one giant bruise.
Hey, listen, we have a special guest here with us for Second Cup. I want to welcome in our Buffalo Police Commissioner, Joe Gramaglia, who's here with us. He's going to join us by phone because he's in his car this morning. But Commissioner Gramaglia
had a big day yesterday.
Yeah, in Washington, D.C., representing Western New York in front of the President of the United States. So love him or hate him, it's the President. And to get Buffalo on the national stage like that, in a room with the President, that's a really big deal.
Yeah. Commissioner, thanks for joining us this morning. Tell us about yesterday.
Yeah, good morning. Thanks for having me on. It was pretty exciting. I have to say it was pretty exciting. Going through the whole process of getting invited. We're one of 8 city police chiefs commissioners that were invited to the White House to talk about violent crime reductions, gun crimes, and what each of our cities has been doing. So, very small audience. 8 police chiefs and a few other folks in a room. Got to listen to the president give a speech, and then he sat down. All the media was removed at that point, so that we can have just really a personal conversation with the president.
So what was that conversation like, Commissioner? Tell us what was discussed.
He wanted to know what some of the statistics were. Obviously, he's aware of the reductions in violent crime, the significant reductions in violent crime and shootings in Buffalo and in our each respective areas. But he wanted to talk to us more in depth about what we were doing and how we were able to get those reductions, and how the federal government can help. Different types of funding sources that they've been sending our way through various means. So, it's like I said, it was a good opportunity to just have a conversation and share some of these things with the president. You don't get to do that so often.
No, okay, that really is an honor. Let me ask you too, how did Buffalo get chosen? How did you get to be part of this conversation?
I guess I was pretty lucky. I don't know. They identified some locations. I got a call. So Buffalo is part of the Major City Chiefs Association. I got a phone call through Major City Chiefs to say, hey, Buffalo is identified, and can you come and participate? And so obviously it was an absolutely.
You know what I love, Commissioner? We're looking at the picture that the Buffalo Police Department tweeted out yesterday. There's so much diversity among those chiefs. How important is that when it comes to modern day policing, that people within the department look like their communities?
Well, obviously that's a big part of it. It's you got to build trust in your respective cities, and the group that you see in that picture, we're all very good friends. As I said, there's 70 police agencies in the Major City Chiefs. I sit as the second vice president of the association, and we're a very tight-knit group. We are all very good friends. We all have the same problems. We share in some of the same successes and the same failures, and so we learn from each other. We meet several times a year, and we talk a lot more throughout the year, and we learn from each other, and that's kind of what we were doing yesterday as well. So
fantastic. Well, I can tell you that everybody who's with us right now is saying thank you for representing and serving our communities, and also saying it was fantastic that you were able to be there. In honor, thanks for representing Buffalo.
Commissioner Gramaglia, we appreciate your time. Hope you have safe travels back to Buffalo. Thanks for joining us for Second Cup.
Yeah, I'll say just real quick in closing, I had the honor of being able to go there and meet with the president, but I was able to do that to represent the women and men of the Buffalo Police Department. They deserve all the credit for all the work that's being done here.
Yeah, and there are so many people here, and we know so many of them who put their lives on the line every single day to protect our communities, and we are truly grateful for them.
Hardworking people. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thanks.
So Commissioner Gramaglia in Washington, D.C., that's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, to be one of 8 people in a room with the president, to have his ear about Western New York and our Queen City in particular, that's huge. I mean, and look, there is so much that has changed in our community over the last 2 years, and, hopefully more changes to come.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to know that we're being heard. You know what I mean? That face-to-face, I think no matter how you feel about any administration, the face-to-face is helpful.
Well, okay, speaking of our community, how happy are you in Buffalo or Western New York? Because it turns out a lot of people are not happy here. Can we talk about this for a second? There are so few people who are actually happy here. It's unbelievable. Of the 180 largest U.S. cities, Buffalo ranking 151.
I don't love that.
When it comes to how happy we are.
I think we need to cheer up and be a little happier, everybody. How do we do it?
So we're talking about the depression rate, the income growth rate, average leisure time per day.
We're working too hard.
Lauren says, I love Buffalo. Anita, I love Buffalo. I was not born or raised here, but it's home now. I'm the same way, Anita.
Sounds like we're working a little too hard. And, you hear depression rate, and sometimes you think too, it's a little harder to be happy when the sun isn't shining. I do
Right.
think that the weather sometimes plays a role. I do think we get a bad rep for our weather.
Well,
it's not
right.
as bad as we say, as people think it is.
Thank you, Howard. Ask the same question in the summer. I agree 100%. If you
Exactly,
there's
yes.
nothing like a Buffalo summer. When it's nice out, the sunset over the lake or over the river.
Yes.
I mean, how lucky are we to have that kind of a view? I think that we are among I might say the only city that has an unobstructed view of the sunset over the water.
Close. Chicago probably has a little bit, but
Well, but they have they're on the opposite coast. So they've got the sunrise.
Sunrise,
We have the sunset
Mm.
over the water.
are we the only? We'd have to go look this up.
Let's go to
Do you
the
know
Google.
what I'm saying? Like, are we the only city that would have that sunset over the water?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm wondering. Are we the only one?
Anita, Buffalo is a great place. We all get the
I'm trying to
beautiful
think.
seasons, and our city offers so much. We get 7 extraordinary days every year. Right. We also get 7 extraordinary seasons in one day.
Do you know what else we really have to talk about is the college story?
Okay, go
because
ahead.
we promised that we would. Would you hire somebody to look after your college student? Ed and I were kind of back and forth over this.
My answer is no. I think this is the weirdest thing in the entire world. Like, if you have a college student that you need to have a babysitter for, then you did something wrong as a parent.
Okay, really quick. We're forgetting about like Erie. They have a sunset. Cleveland, they have a sunset. Now, on the other side, like you're saying, Milwaukee and Chicago get a sunrise.
Right.
But we're forgetting about these guys. They're like an hour and a half away. We're
Also,
like,
we're among the fewest.
we're the only city. But they would get a sunset here. And they would get somewhat of a sunset here too.
Mhm.
Still, we're all partners on that. I feel like we're all the same.
Yeah.
Okay, so this was, would people hire someone to look after their college student? So the idea is there's this woman, she started a little business.
The wacko.
She lives in an area where
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
kids attend college. She seems very nice,
Yes,
I
she
think.
does seem like a lovely woman.
She's basically calling herself like a mom service. Like, I think about myself. I went 3.5-ish hours away from my parents. Should my parents have wanted somebody to catch up on me, they could call this woman. They call her Mindy. And she would step in and play the role of your parent. She could be like an advocate for your health somewhere. If there was a health scare, she could help you find an internship. She could help you celebrate your birthday if mom and dad can't be there. She could recommend a local doctor. Thoughts?
Grow up. The whole point of college is growing up, learning how to be an adult. Hell no is what Barbara says. You know, Anita says, I have basically been an adult babysitter since 2000 in prison and now with our elder population. So why not?
So I
Jeff Baker is so funny.
don't think that I would hire somebody. However, I don't hate the idea of somebody, like, if you're really lost and confused and you need that mom figure, I don't hate the idea. Like, I think it's,
Kelly, I can see if my kid was super sick and she
Right.
sat there until I could
that's
get
what
there.
I was thinking. Like, if someone had to go to the hospital, that's what it's listed as, health scares. I don't know. It'd be nice to know that somebody was there to advocate for your kid. If they didn't have like a friend there,
Would the hospital even let them in?
I don't know.
Oh, hi. I'm Mindy, the babysitter.
They'd probably just sit there in the waiting room, but they'd be able to call mom and then mom would feel better.
I feel like this is a huge problem. Like, that is a walking HIPAA violation.
No, she's in the waiting room. It's like if your friend took you to the hospital.
Right. Okay, fine. Fair enough. Well, then do you really need somebody sitting there in the waiting room for you?
You don't, but like, I think this might be for parents who have a hard time letting go. Put it that way.
Well, and so that's my point. Like, your child needs to grow up. And I said this on the air this morning. Time to cut the cord. It's okay. Sarah, I worked in first-year experience at Bonaventure for years, and parents always overstepped and wanted me to do things like that. No, it's college.
Sarah,
Grow
you
up.
could have got paid for it on the side. You could have had a side gig.
I mean, I guess, like, if it's good money, then hey, whatever. It's a business
Listen,
venture.
I agree. Like, if you're making money in the side gig and it works for people and it's not bothering the kid and the kid needs whatever, like, I will say, how about here? People come here from a million places. What's the first thing they ask us? Do you know a dentist? Do you know a doctor? Do you know? And we
Sure.
give them this stuff all the time. So if they were looking for recommendation, Mindy's got it for a small fee.
We got to get going. Have a great day, everyone.